Welcome to my channel. In this video, I will talk about Oracle Cloud Receivables Adjustments or Billing Adjustments. What is our agenda here? First, what is Billing Adjustments and when we can use the Billing Adjustment? The Billing Adjustments can also be referred as Billing Corrections. They allow you to increase or decrease the balance due on an invoice, debit memo, or a chargeback. When do we use the billing adjustment feature? If you have billing transactions such as invoice, debit memo, chargeback, or even credit memo that has been posted to the general ledger, in other words, you have run the create accounting process already, which creates subledger journal entries and that have transferred the subledger journal to the GL, or maybe you have applied a customer payment to that invoice or debit memo. At that point, you cannot incomplete the transaction to make changes. So the only option you have at that point is to make a billing correction using the billing adjustment feature. The ways of processing adjustments, there are two ways, either manual, I will show you in a moment. You can open the invoice or the transaction, either debit memo, invoice, chargeback, and select the adjustment option from the action list. The other way, you can run a process. This process will automatically create the adjustment for the transactions, and also I will show it in a moment. What is the setup steps with some profile options? There are a number of settings that affect the creation of adjustments. The first one is Receivable Activity. The Receivable Activity, which ensures that you generate accounting entries for adjustments that you process. Let's get into the application to show you how to create or adjust the Receivables Activity. Once you log into Oracle, select Setup and Maintenance. Select Financial and Receivables. Here you can manage receivable activities. You can select Search here or Create. If I select my business unit and activity type, I will select Adjustment, Search. It will give me all of the already defined adjustment. I can select Adjustment. Here you can find business unit, name, description, active. What is the type adjustment? You must ensure that the type here is. You must ensure that the activity type here is adjustments, active. What is the GL account? Also you have to assign the GL account. Tax transaction, either none or activity or invoice for tax rate code. But almost of adjustment without tax, and also this depends on the business requirement in your organization. Cancel. Again, if you need to add any one, click Create, select your business unit, the name, adjustment, description, what is the type, it will be adjustments, active or not active. Here the theme GL and the rate depends on your business scenario, and assign the GL account of this receivables activity. So this is how to create, either edit the existing one or create a new one as a receivables activity. Let's come back to our agenda. Second one, natural application setting. The natural application versus over application, which is the setting that you find in the transaction type setup. The natural application setting allows you to decrease the balance of an invoice, for example, down to 0, On the other hand, the over application setting allows you to get into the negative territory. So you can over apply an invoice and go beyond zero, so the invoice ends up with a negative balance. Let's also get into the application to show you where this setup. Again, I come back to setup and maintenance, cancel. You can search by transaction type, manage transaction, manage transaction type, enter, go down here, manage transaction type, again manage transaction types. You can select or search by any existing, for any existing transaction type, search. For example, this one, credit memo. Here you can find our allow over application and the natural application only. And as we said, for this setting, the natural application versus over applications setting allows you to get into the negative territory, so you can over apply an invoice and go beyond zero. So the invoice ends up with a negative balance. Let's get into our agenda. Third one is approval limits. You have to assign or set up the approval limit. These settings allow a user to create adjustments within those limits that don't need to be reviewed by somebody else, such as manager. So if a user creates an adjustment beyond those approval limits, then that adjustment will need to be reviewed and approved by another user with the correct limits. So let's get into application to show you the approval limit. Cancel, done. Go to manage approval limit, search, manage approval limit. Here you will find it. Again, manage approval. You can search by username, but here you cannot make or create or edit the approval limit for your user. You can edit or create for any other users, but your user you cannot. If I select the document type here as adjustment and search, the system will give me all of the users which have a limit and assigned to this activity as adjustment. If you need to create, click create. What is the username? For example, this document type, you have to select adjustment. What is your currency? What is the minimum? Either 0 to 999 or from negative to 0. Again, if I need to create the same user, document type, currency, here I can enter 920. So here you can put negative or positive. So this is the approval limit set up by the user name. Cancel. Let's get into our agenda. Now there are some profile options that we have some cases like invoices with unconfirmed receipts. These settings allow you to adjust the invoices selected for automatic receipt application if the profile option, which is invoice with unconfirmed receipts, is set to adjust or adjust with credit. Override adjustment activity account allowed is also a profile option that will allow the user to override the general ledger account that defaults from the receivables activity. So this is two profile options, and the third profile options That adjustment reason required is also profile options that allows you to make entry of an adjustment reason mandatory when an adjustment is being processed. Otherwise, if you don't set this profile option to yes, adjustment reason is just an optional field. Let's get into the application to show you these three profile options, and again it is up to your business needs or business requirement. Now I come here, you can search by manage profile options. It will give you the lists. You can search by manage receivables profile options. Again, manage receivables. Go down, you can search by module or application. I will select application receivables. Search. You will find here all of these profile options. So as I said before, the first one for invoice with unconfirmed receipts. I can go to up, go to down. Here, override adjustment activity account, that the first profile option to allow override a default adjustment activity account. You can set it yes or no. Then here, the other one for require adjustment reason, required or not when creating adjustment. This is also up to you. And the other one for the unconfirmed receipts. And the last one, the invoice with unconfirmed receipts. This setting allows you to adjust the invoice selected for automatic receipt application if the profile option, which is invoice with unconfirmed receipts, is set to adjust or adjust with credit. So this is our three profile options. Let's get into the slide. So practical example. Now I will create an invoice and try to make adjustment and check the adjustments and either approve or withdraw the adjustments. So let's come back to application, go to home page, go to receivables, billing. You can also create transaction from here. Either you can also select an existing. I can select any existing transaction number. We have to check that it is completed and everything is still incomplete. So I can complete and review, but check that the accounting is not open. So let me cancel. I can search by any completed one. Let me select this. Of this, yes. So I will search by transaction date 1. Okay, let me try to create a new one. Go to transactions, create transactions. This is the business unit. What transaction source? Transaction type, invoice. Date to day, currency, invoicing rule, billing to customer. Search. Search by account number. You can select this customer. Go to lines. What is your memo line? Quantity 20. You can go to right to check the tax, either calculated or not. 0. Save. This is a normal process to enter the header and the lines as a memo line, else as auto invoice from any other legacy system or from order management. Then you can to save and complete and review to check everything is okay, and you can try to post it to it is already posted and accounted. Now I need to make our adjustment either to increase or decrease. So here the total is 5,600. I will put it, add more 400. So actions, manage adjustments, add a new one. What is the receivable activity? We already created one as adjustment. Here, what is the adjustment type? Is it charges or freight or invoice adjustment, or you are going to only adjust the lines or the tax? If I select the lines, I can put for or minus. As you see here, the example format, either positive or negative. I will add 400. Installment number, here adjustment reason, I can put as charges, comment, distributions from the definition of the receivable activity, then submit. Once I submitted, it's showing as here 900 has been created as adjustment. Here this adjustment is approved automatically because this user has a limit of the 400 as a my user. Let me try to enter another adjustment by another users to check, or I can complete, done. I can go to settlement and maintenance and manage approval limit of my user to remove or edit the approval limit. So go to receivables, manage approval limit, I can search by type adjustment. Here this is my user. I have from 0999 to 9999. So if I put 99, but the system will not accept to adjust my user. Let me try to save. It's not saved. So I will log in by another user to adjust my adjustment limit. So I can cancel. So I logged by a different user. Again, go to receivables to edit the approval limit, manage approval limit, select the type as an adjustment, search. Here I will adjust it to 1000 or 100, then save. It will be saved. So again I will log out and log in by my user. So I logged by my user and go to receivables, the same transactions, to make another adjustment by limit over whatever limit is added or set up for my user. Receivables, billing, search by 69000, search. This is our invoice. Again I will make another adjustment, manage adjustment. You will find the previous one. I will add more Again, adjustment type is line. I will add 2000. Adjustment reason as another charges, submit. Okay, you cannot approve this adjustment because it is not within your approval limit. The adjustment 10001 has been created, so because this is not within my limit, so it's pending approval. So either I withdraw and again to submit, or I can wait until the user who has the limit or within this limit to approve it, the adjustment. So I can click done. I can search again by who has the approval limit, the other user is within the limit or not. Again, setup and maintenance. Go to receivable, manage approval limit, search by document type as adjustment, search. The other user already has, so I will now try to log in by him and check this adjustment and either approve or reject. So let me go out or sign out from this user. I log in by a different user, so setup and maintenance. Sorry, I will go to receivables because the approval limit already set up. Go to receivables, then select the billing. From the task here you can find manage or approve adjustment. Here our adjustment 2000, he can select it. He have three options: approve, reject, request more information. So if I approve, here comment, it's done, submit, adjustment has been approved. Again, I will log out from this user and try to log in by my user to check the adjustment on the invoice, or from here I can check the adjustment status on the same invoice. Let me sign out and sign in again by my user. This is my user. Go to receivables and search from the billing by our invoice 69000, search, open it, actions, manage adjustment. You will find the second one is approved by Mr. Brahim, pending and approved, and he mentioned it's done. So this is a process of how to make adjustments. Let's come back to the agenda. This is a practical example. Here there are 3 or 4 frequently asking questions about the billing adjustment. First one, how can we tell who the approval should be? In Vision, you have to define approval limit to determine whether a receivables user can approve adjustment or credit memo request. You define approval limit by document type, amount, and currency, as we saw before. The second one, how is this setup done inside of BPM or not? BPM, Business Process Management, this for approval cycles. You go through this like the approval cycles, full approval cycle for EB invoice, GL journals. You can do it through BPM module. But here, no, it is not a BPM. This is through approval limit. Can we reassign approval if required? If you have these rules already defined, then you can make a search to search where your adjustment was supposed to go for approval according to its value and the approval limit of your approvals. If you don't have this setup, then please maintain it and then try to withdraw the adjustment and submit it again, As I also show you before, that you can reject, approve, and request more information. This is from the approval side, but from the requester side or the creator side, he can submit or withdraw. So maybe this help to re-trigger the workflow and make it sent to the correct approval in case if you need to withdraw the adjustment, whatever you already submitted before, to again submit it to the proper approval. Is the billing dashboard the appropriate place of making approval? Yes, that's correct place. The approval can access it from billing, then approve adjustment as well. I hope now you got what is the adjustment, what is the requirement or prerequisites setups, and how to do it, how to approve, how to reject, how to request more information. I hope to subscribe my channel. Also, I am waiting your comments and questions. Thanks for watching.